A very good morning, Saints fans. Tonda Eka appointed as the Southampton head coach. Full reaction video here. I just thought I'd get up before I head to St Mary's, head to Southampton for today's game. I thought I'd just cover the story really quickly because I cover every Southampton story and it would be poor of me not to react to it and talk about it. And the match day content I do, I don't want to get totally overshadowed by this news story. It's a separate video, especially for the announcement of Tonda Eka and some of my reaction, because a lot of people are asking me my thoughts. I did sit and write an article last night before I went to bed, about half midnight last night, just to kind of put some of my thoughts down on paper. And I'll read you some of my thoughts. I think it's a brave, bold appointment by the football club. We've officially entered the Tonda Eka era. There's no doubt about that now. He is the official head coach, by the way, not manager. I'm going to come on to that very, very shortly. 5 games in temporary charge, 4 that were very, very good. Though we did regress a fair bit against Millwall last weekend. Really interesting to see how it unfolds today down at St Mary's, and a team that's going to come after Saints and have a proper go at us. It's a lot of people say it's too quick. We rushed it. They haven't rushed it because they've had plenty of time. Though the title tells a little bit of a story for me, and no one's touched upon this. Like, I haven't seen this comment anywhere, but I'm going to touch upon it because it's something I kind of want to talk about. Look, I'm not being outspoken by saying it. The one thing that stands out for me is the title of head coach and not manager. Russell Martin was named as the Southampton manager. Will Still was the Southampton manager. And it suggests to me that it's kind of clear now the identity of the football club. You know, calling Eckert the head coach, for me, suggests there's a clearer structure, a streamlined approach behind the scenes, because the head coach and manager kind of has a bit more of a say, really. Does that suggest, I'm going to put it out there, I don't know for a fact, was there a bit of a power struggle between Spores and Will Still? He was sacked very quickly, Will Still. I know things weren't going great, but he looked really unhappy at the end, Will Still. I thought he looked unhappy for a few weeks, and I thought he was prickly around every time he was asked questions about his relationship with Spores. You know, he's never going to come out and say it was bad. But he is renowned, Will Still, for being quite kick up a bit. But I do wonder if there was a little bit of a tension between them. There can be in workplaces. Let's just put it out there. There absolutely can be. But calling him the head coach does suggest a clearer structure and a more streamlined approach behind the scenes. His job is to coach, prepare the team, develop the players, which is what he's all about. The big calls on recruitment, squad planning will land inevitably with the technical director, Johannes Spores. And it will be, because he's been doing that. And I wonder, with the signings that were made for Will, whether he wasn't that happy with them, because he didn't always play them all. Like, Azaz was so in and out when he arrived. It was quick to drop him. The same with Fellows. And I thought at the time, did he really want these players? Were they the players that he wanted? How much of a say did he have in recruitment? But the way Will Still was sacked just left me wondering. And I think now with the title of head coach, maybe it's maybe what I was feeling and thinking in my head was maybe correct. But it does outline a clearer structure for the football club. Though the Millwall wasn't a setback, it was a step backwards last week. And it was a perfect run up until then, really. And I'm really intrigued to see how it unfolds now. I'm excited to see how it unfolds, because performances against Charlton and Leicester, keep doing that and we'll be absolutely fine. A lot of people question the inexperience of Will Still when the going got really tough. We haven't had a tough period under Tonda yet. And we could be in it. We could already be in it. Millwall today, West Brom. You don't know when that tough run is going to come again. It's like, how will he deal with adversity? And I think it will be really interesting. And one thing I want to say, and I don't want to be harsh now, but I have to say what I'm thinking, because I don't want to be somebody that fluffs it all up. I've got to give you my honest opinion where I see it going. Look, if we don't make the playoffs and get promoted, will he be the manager next season? I'm not convinced by that. If we run it really close, he probably will be. But if we don't make playoffs, I can't see a world where he would be the manager next year. But then if we got promoted to the Premier League, would he be the man to guide us in the Premier League? Russell Martin who'd managed at championship level, played in the English game, played in the championship. He wasn't able to do it at a Premier League level. I do believe when you get to become a Premier League club, you need a lot to get it right. There's argument. There's always going to be arguments because you look at what Sunderland have done. They've just recruited really, really well for their manager, and look, he's given them a really good chance. But I'm intrigued to see how it plays out. Genuinely intrigued by it, and I put that in my article. And they've chosen their man now. They need to back him. They've chosen their structure, haven't they? And it all becomes a little bit clearer. I just hope it works out. And I like Eckert a lot. I like the way he comes across. He seems calm. But the one thing we should say is whenever we had a manager in place or a head coach in place, and the players have constantly come out and spoke about his detail, spoke about his attention to detail, I think they've really bought into him, like massively bought into him, and they're constantly talking about him, which does speak volumes. There's no doubt that the players helped get Will Steele sacked, and in this instance, I think they've probably, like, he's done all the right things, and I think they've probably backed him as well, and they've helped him get the job. But look, I think he's genuinely really impressed people, and they would have watched not just what he's done on match day, what he's done behind the scenes, on the training pitch. The people at the club will see him day in, day out. So Johannes will be making he'll be going back to the board, and he'll have a very clear picture of what is happening day to day. Look, I think he could go on and be an absolute, this could be a masterstroke. It will go one way or the other with any appointment in football. It will be a masterstroke or it'll be an absolute disaster. And the going gets tough and we don't win another game for weeks and weeks. I don't see that being the case. I think we have the squad of players. We just won't get the space that we had against Charlton and Leicester to play like that. I don't think in every game in the Championship. I think there were two really outstanding performances. I hope we can go do something similar today against Birmingham, but it won't be easy. I think I've summed it up quite well, really, without being negative. I'm kind of like, I'm just going to sit and see how it plays out. Look, when the Will Steele went, I wanted an experienced manager in, like we all did. I was very much like Matt Letitia, Franny, all the Adam and Joe. To an extent, they wanted someone with experience in. I don't think it's, in terms of financial, this isn't a massive financial gamble because it won't cost them loads of money to do it. I think financially the gamble could be if we don't make playoffs and we just end up mid-table and we don't end up where we should do for the squad we got. We know we're the biggest spenders in the league. There should be no excuses when it comes at the end of the season. I expect us, and if I was the owner, I'd expect us to be in the playoffs at a bare minimum with the amount of money we spent and what we could do in January. If they back him with a striker in January, James Ward-Prowse could come back in. There's a lot of talk. I was hearing about that a few days ago. Whether that could happen, I don't know. But imagine you end up with Ward-Prowse back. It could lift the fans, a striker. Things could go, and we could have a charge, and we could go and clinch second. I think the whole league's up for grabs. It's not a very good championship this year, I don't think, from the teams I've seen. Other than Coventry, they're the standout performers. Who else is there? I do believe there's a huge opportunity for Saints to go and put a run together and get themselves right in the mix for top two. I really do. I think we've got the squad of players to do it. Defensively, he has to sort it out. That's his biggest thing now. Loads and loads of defenders just not defending well enough. Need to get us better as a unit, and he needs to go and get a goalkeeper. They will need to back him with a goalkeeper. And I think then you've got a really, really good chance with Tonda Eka in charge. I hope you enjoyed my video here. Give me all your thoughts, all your reaction in the comments box below.